Alright. You first make sure that the bone you want to animate to have it grow is actually animated. That's why we're gonna make sure that in the fist bone setup it is selected as animated, which it already is. Just make it sure again, you have to make it ticked. Make sure that your playable layers are existing and that you have an FX layer, which can be found in the example folder under your project files in Unity. The same goes for a menu and a parameter, but I'm sure that you have already done this many times. In the parameters, you make sure you make a float. I'll just call it a tail grow in this time. This will be reused later on in the FX. In the FX, as we have it selected, we create a new layer. I'll call tail, make it 100%. And then we make a new create new blend tree and state. The blend tree is there. We want to add two motions. We will come back to this because now I have to create the animation itself first. I duplicate the main model. I hide the first model because the second model is the model which we're gonna use to animate with. I call tail grow. If we wouldn't do that with the second model, as you can see, it gets immediately pushed into like a seating position that just stays there, and we don't want this to happen on the first model. Alright, I animate that the tail grows. It's now free size. I also make a second keyframe, which basically means it can go back to the main, or it starts as the default keyframe. For some reason, I still believe you have to make it with the first keyframe or else it doesn't work. Nope, that's the entire model. I'm gonna click on the tail. It's right there. I animate it first to 1.2, back to 1, so the keyframe for the 1 is there. Should be. We can test this right on in the animator. Alright. Tail grow animation is there. We want FX if I can find it. It's right there, exactly. Let's see. We go back to the blend tree state. We put in, we create a parameter, of course, again. Inside of the FX, we call tail grow again. Make sure it's a float. Make it the tail grow on the parameter and the blend tree. And then we choose to tail grow default and tail grow normal. So it sets from one state to the other, and now should be a nice radial float, as you can see in the bottom right corner. Seems to work. Now we are going back to the main menu. We want to make sure that this is now involved into the menu. Give it a name. Tail grow. Make sure it's the float. Make sure it is actually a radial puppet, and I make it a tail grow float. And it's the rotation, not the parameter. And that is basically I will use a gesture manager to show the actual thing that it works. Should be somewhere up there. Yep, that's it. And now the model is animated as it is where in VRChat with a radial menu. As you can see, the tail grow is being selected and immediately works.